Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here on Ready Check Radio, it's time for Gaming Gumbo, your quarterly gaming wrap-up show. We're actually back. Feels good. I'm done with all the theater stuff for now. Probably won't be doing a show until possibly late this year, and that's if I even get cast in it, so we'll see. Do still have some Final Fantasy stuff happening, so I know there's going to be one specific weekend in August that we won't do a show. But other than that, everything else is on like Sundays and Tuesdays, so we should be all good. It's nice to be back. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Byrne, your host as always. This is episode 113. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on Audible, Spotify, any of those podcast platforms, thank you so much. Give it a like, a subscribe, turn on those notifications, thumbs up, write a comment, all that good stuff that helps feed the algorithms. But most importantly, if you like what we do here, tell a friend. And come join us live. The website's right there. And all of our old Gaming Gumbo episodes and Relic Grind episodes, they're all there, but so are the socials. You can follow us and come join us Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, to do it live. Chat, hanging out with us. I'm sure they'll have opinions as we go along, joining me to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. Mr. Dom Greco, what's up, sir?
How's it going?
How you been?
I've been. I'm existing. I'm here.
Yeah, you were not anticipating a show, so you're live in the woods.
I am. I've been camping out, waiting for the next show. Been, eating. It's been really hard because I don't even know where sandwiches live. It's very hard to find food.
Very, very hard. Very hard. Also on the line, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Yod. What's up, sir?
Oh, just sitting around.
You got a little Gaming Gumbo mug there. What is that? What is that?
Yes.
Is that merch?
It is.
So we talked about it the last time we were together that Yod was doing some merch, getting ready for MomoCon, all kinds of stuff. So very cool to see on there. Nice mug, my
That's
friend.
awesome.
Nice mug.
Isn't it though?
The shilling is real out here. Yes, Tikal, the shilling is absolutely real. You got a month worth of opinions built up. Good.
We do.
Yeah, that's it. Chat's ready to go with us. So it's been a while. So today's, I didn't want to be like, hey, let me grab the news of this week like we normally do, right? When we are doing the shows weekly, and we just grab the news from that week, and then maybe we add some fun, goofy stuff there to fill in some things. I felt kind of bad just like grabbing news from this week. But then I also didn't want to be like, well, let me grab news from the last month and make a 4-hour show. So it's going to kind of be like a potpourri this week. We're gonna talk about like some of the things we've been playing in the last month or so, some of the things we're looking forward to, kind of each of us, and then there are a few news pieces that I personally did want to talk about, and so we'll bring those in. Dom, I think we'll start with you on just like what have you been playing lately? Obviously, the forest behind you. Some people are going to immediately know what that screen is. What's going on in your gaming life right now?
I've been playing a bit of Hunt Showdown here. As you can see, there's an update coming out next month that I'm really looking forward to. In addition to that, I've been dabbling a bit in Dark and Darker. That game's been quite a bit of frustrating fun. We've been working on trying to take out like some of the bosses, like the cave trolls and stuff, and just
they're doing
destroyed.
a mobile client on that one soon too.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Did you see? So speaking of that, before you go on to the next one, did you see Dragonborn? Dungeonborn. That's it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so you might want to check that out. It's on Steam, and right now it's a free to play early access that just went live 2 days ago, the 18th. We covered it over on MMO Bomb. You might want to check that one out. It's a first-person PvPvE dungeon crawl. It's very Dark and Darker.
Okay.
But, as much as I enjoyed Dark and Darker, this looks better. To me, at least. I think there's aesthetic aspects that I enjoy in this one more. And it's arguable that it might be better now. Eventually, it is free to play. See what they do with all that stuff outside of early access. They're going to be in early access for about 3 to 6 more months at minimum. So we've got some time. But if you like Dark and Darker, Dom, check that one out.
Yeah, I'll have to head on over to MMO Bomb and get some more information.
The shilling is real.
And a couple, I think it was like 2 months ago, Hearthstone introduced Battlegrounds duos, and they just recently had another update to that where they reintroduced the buddy system, which is just like a new effect that's in there. Every class gets their own additional like cards that they can play. It changes the meta up, but this is the first time it's been in duos, so it's kind of been a big deal in learning to adapt that. So I have a buddy, me and him have been going really hard on it, and we've just recently broke top 400 in the US. So
yeah,
pretty excited.
I also
about
saw
that.
like the new expansion is coming, and apparently the game is closing because there is no new board. Like in the new season. Like,
Oh my god.
according to fans, the game, this game, dead game.
Dead game. Of
No
course.
new
Yep.
board in the new upcoming expansion, apparently. Dead game.
Yep.
Wow.
Dead game.
Wow.
Yod, what you been playing lately, my friend? Well, hold on. I gotta rephrase. I gotta rephrase for Yod. Yod, how was the final shape?
Right. 'Cause obviously, I was gonna say let's get the first one out of the way, the obvious one. I did finish the final shape and kicked off into the seasonal stuff that they've got and stuff like that for the time being.
Are you like fully through Echoes Act 2? Because that's relatively new. I think that was just earlier this week.
Yeah, I caught up to, after I was up in Michigan for a week, so after getting back from that, I was a little jet lagged, didn't want to do anything.
Well, that's really weird because you drove. Like, that's really weird.
I did not drive. I flew. But
Your
yeah,
arms
so,
must be tired.
oh, totally. But yeah, so yeah, I'm current on it. So I did the new stuff that dropped this week.
Okay, so can I ask you a few questions?
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I have it updated, but I have not
Okay.
jumped into it.
Okay.
And full disclosure, I believe Bungie gave me the code. I can't remember if they gave it
Okay.
to me or not.
Okay.
I might have bought it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But if they gave it
Yeah.
to me, full maybe disclosure, they gave it to me.
Right. I bought mine.
Yeah, there you go. All right. It's unbiased. You bought it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was obviously doing a lot of writing for Destiny 2's, Final Shape expansion and coming
Right.
and all that fun stuff, doing all the news reporting and stuff like that. And I remember distinctly writing in one piece, like maybe the day of launch or the night before, how I would expect the reviews for the Final Shape to be very good out of the gate. And we've talked on this show about how they kind of need to be, or Sony gonna take over. But then my thing was like, I think where we really need to see how they're doing is a month down the road, 2 months down the road, because Destiny has this just historical trend of the day the expansion launches in that week's, everybody's really, really happy with it, and it's great. And then immediately there's a drop off of what the hell are you guys doing with the seasonal content? You're killing us. You hate your players. I want a refund. We're now a month from, not quite a month, but about a month from the Final Shape. Where is it now that you're seeing the season content? Are you still riding on that like new expansion high or not?
Haven't gone, because like I took my time with the actual expansion, so it's not like I rushed through it in a day or a week or whatever. I took my time. I spent some time doing other things. I had life things going on, so it took me about two and a half weeks or so to actually finish the expansion. So getting into the actual seasonal stuff, all the Act 1 stuff was out before I even dove into it.
Right.
So I cut my way through that because that was like the week that I left for Michigan. So I wasn't going to be doing anything else obviously. So I just dove into that and cut my way through it. Um, and coming back, diving into Act Two a little bit there, it does seem to be a lot of the same as before. It's just they're giving it to you in larger chunks.
Which I
So,
guess is a good thing, right?
I mean, it is good. It's interesting. It's not amazing. And I fully believe because the story writers and stuff like that, those are the devs. Those are the guys in the trenches. They're good at their job.
No
Don't
doubt.
get me
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, they're good at their job. Don't get me wrong.
It's
They're
always the
love
higher up decisions that screw a
right,
game.
right, right. So I love what they're doing. The problem once again though is how they're presenting it and the amount of funding they're getting to present it. So yeah, it just feels like the same as before. So yeah, I think Sony's probably gonna step in here soon, and part of me really hopes they do, because those
Interesting.
managers have to be held responsible for the mess ups they've
Right.
done, and they haven't been.
What's up, Bearded
So-
Mana? Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I changed that. I know. Just hit refresh. I changed. We're now not in the Baldur Gate 3. To Cal saying, hey, I love fried chicken. I'll never be mad at getting more fried chicken. Yeah, like then that's
Right.
it, right? Like
Right.
if a game can keep you happy, and arguably go watch the Relic Grind from this past Thursday, because obviously one of the games I've been playing a lot is Final Fantasy XIV with the new Dawn
Right.
Trail expansion.
Right.
There are aspects of it that, just aren't keeping me quite as happy as it used to. And maybe those will change as the storyline fleshes out. That's really my big gripe with it. I don't want to spend too much time here. Go check out the Relic Grind. But when a game, you find your game, Dom, if it just, the Hunt Showdown, by the way, can we just say that, like, I never, ever, when Hunt Showdown came out, would have been like, oh, this is Dom. This game's 100% Dom. I've known
You're
Dom
right.
for a long time.
Yep.
And Hunt Showdown is something I could have, like, maybe pegged you having a couple of fun nights with, like, me, you, and a couple of other people on stream with it, and then it went away and just collected and molded in your Steam library. But, like, they've hit you.
3,000 hours worth.
Right.
Yeah.
They've hit you, and they just keep giving you what you want. That's all we want, guys. Like, we'll give you money. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I've bought every DLC for this game, everything, but I don't buy it when it's full price. I wait for it to go on sale. But I have it all. So like, because I enjoy the game so much, I want to support them. I don't even use the DLC that I buy. Right?
Yeah.
They're all cosmetic things. I don't care about the characters. I want them to support the devs. I want them to be appreciated.
Anything else,
Right.
Yod, or has it literally just been D2 for you? Which would be understandable. It's expansion time.
I did get it to jump into Hi-Fi Rush for a little while.
Oh, such a fun
Finally.
game. Yeah.
I know it is amazing, and it
I was the
sucks
one that told you, I was like, look, even if you don't like
yeah.
rhythm games or shooter games, as an artist, Yod, you have to
Exactly.
install this.
yeah, that's it exactly. And it's such a fucking shame that they got rid of the studio,
Yeah.
because it's such an amazing game. And I mean, what do you expect when you don't promote the game before it comes out? You're gonna have bad.
Well,
nobody's gonna know about it.
Yeah, and there's that the whole argument about Game Pass, right? Which we'll talk about shortly here.
Yeah.
And how beneficial Game Pass may or may not be to developers as far as day one releases. And if you're a big dog, that's probably okay. If you're a little dog, then maybe the money's not quite worth it. Have you been in 14 at all? I know your wife has, but have you?
I have not, mostly because by the time I was ready to jump into 14, like I said, we were like half a week away from leaving for Michigan.
Right.
So there was really no point in me pick up the expansion, rushing to the point where I needed to be to start Dawn Trail, and then going in.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and she's kind of been waiting for a few of us to catch up to really get into it.
On my side, obviously a lot of Final Fantasy 14, but setting that aside, I've been playing a fair amount of College Football 25. My oldest son bought like the whatever collector's edition that came with 4 or 5 days of Head Start access. It just came out yesterday, but we've been playing it all week. That's been a blast. I have little gripes with it. Like there are some animations that look wonky as hell. Mascots' arms disappear into the mascot outfits all the time, like all over the place. And
Part of its charm.
yeah, part of its, I guess. There are some catches that I'm just like, come on. Like, that is not even remotely realistic that would be caught.
That's a feature, not a glitch.
But if I have to go, like, would I rather play College Football 25 now that it's back? I was a huge NCAA football fan back in the day when EA made those. Would I rather play this or Madden? It is this. Like, College Football 25 is it for me right now. Very much enjoying it. My two boys have been playing it. They went on a streak. Obviously, like, being in Pittsburgh, my oldest son goes to Pitt games all the time with his girlfriend. That's her alma mater, so they're big Pitt heads. Hail to Pitt. And so he always plays Pitt. But what my boys were doing as they were learning the ins and outs of the new game was a Pitt-Syracuse rivalry game, and they kept switching teams. And so the next morning, or 2 mornings after, I was like, "Hey, how's it going? I hadn't had a chance to play yet, but you guys have. Is it good?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're really enjoying it." But, and I said, "Which one of you's better? Like, who's dominating the other one?" And they're like, "It's 50-50 because we've been doing this thing that we switch teams. Whoever's controlling Pitt can't win. Like, can't beat Syracuse. The can't beat Syracuse." So then I play, my first game. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'll be Pitt. And I was going against Torchwick, and he was like, fine, I'll take Syracuse. And I baked him. Like, I absolutely baked him. I put up, like, whatever it was, 35 points. It's like 35-7. And then for, like, the last quarter and a half, almost the entire second half of the game, I've just sat there and clocked the shit out of the game. He got a couple more points, and he's like, all right, I'm coming back. And I'm like, you're getting points I don't care about. It's taking you 8 minutes to get these points, and I'm more than happy to give them to you. It is kind of weird losing some of the functionality between the games, though. And maybe that'll come back in future iterations, but, like, remember back in the day where, like, you could draft a class from one and push it into the other one? You can't do that here. So it pushed them into Madden, right? Like, you can't do that here. So that's a kind of disappointing. I don't believe, somebody in chat can correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't believe the mascot game is in there either, which is a little disappointing. That was always a fun feature, the having the mascot square off. But all in all, enjoying it. I also did play a bunch of Once Human for 2 days. They had some massive server issues. I don't like survival. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm okay with survival games, but they just never stick with me. I don't play them for long. Once Human, as soon as they adjust their privacy policy, might be one that I would play more often. I was really kind of into their systems, and I was really into the narrative version. It's very Control or The Secret World as far as, like, monsters and science experiments and portals and stuff like that. I mean, it's clearly ripping from about a dozen different games, but I don't care. Go ahead, rip away. I was enjoying it. So yeah.
That's good.
And we're getting an Xbox Game Pass price increase.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! I'm probably gonna unsubscribe here soon.
Are you really? Wait, do you, I have the ultimate. What do you have? Do you do the ultimate too?
I do the standard, and that's actually one of the things. I do the basic because I only play on the PC.
Oh,
And-
yeah, that makes sense.
And the only reason that I resubscribed last time was because Little Kitty Big City came out.
Oh,
It was
well,
on
I
Game
mean,
Pass.
what the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
it is an adorable little tiny indie game where you play it's like Stray without the threat of the cat dying.
Little Kitty Big City.
I can't believe you have not played it.
This has got to be a porn, right?
No, it's not.
A peaceful catnap turns into a whimsical adventure.
Yeah.
Will you
I'm-
make your
I'm
way home, or
shocked.
will you explore what the big city has to offer? I mean, getting home is obviously your main priority. Obviously. Well, it's one of your
Yeah.
priorities. Maybe more of a guideline. It's definitely on your to-do list somewhere. But first, Exploration. Oh my
Yeah.
God, my daughter and my wife would be all over this.
I
Giant
can't believe
sandbox.
one of
Cat
them
box.
has. Yeah. I can't believe one of them hasn't found it yet.
It's a
It's
giant
an amazing.
open world litter box.
It is. It is. And I need an expansion for it.
Little kitty, big city.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was playing it on Game Pass because the wife was playing it on Switch. So,
So
I wanted to make sure that it was. I wanted to purchase it. So obviously, subscribing to Game Pass was the way to go because there was some other things that I needed to try out, like Hi-Fi Rush. So why not?
So we've always been, as far as being gamers, relatively positive on Xbox Game Pass as a whole from our perspective as a consumer of video games. But all three of us, and Troy, when he's been on as well, have also expressed concerns about the longevity of it. Is this sustainable at its price points? And last year, they saw, or at the beginning of this year, there was like 34 million active subscribers. That was a huge jump from 2022's numbers. But is that sustainable, that type of growth and keeping those accounts active? And then on the developer side of things, have always been questions about, is it worth it to take a big paycheck and put your game up there as a day one freebie to everybody? Is it maybe not in your best financial interest to do that? Rip Hi-Fi Rush. They didn't have much of a choice, right? Because they were owned by Microsoft. But a little bit of a different situation there. But now, apparently, it's not sustainable. At least not in its current forms, because the prices, they are a-changin'. My Ultimate, and Dom, your Ultimate as well?
No, I was PC.
PC, okay. So the prices are a-changin'. My Ultimate subscription is going from $16.99 to $19.99 per month. The PC Game Pass is going from $10 a month to $12 a month. Then the console version, Game Pass console, that's going away. There's going to be a new tier introduced, but that new tier is going to be called Xbox Game Pass Standard and is going to be $15 a month. You won't be able to get Xbox Game Pass console anymore. And that's also going to be changing the prices of the yearly rates if you are buying yearly to save extra money. Again, is the price, Dom, ridiculous? No, right? Like it's a $2 or $3 increase depending on which bundle you may have.
Yeah.
Does it suck for Xbox console only players? Yes. Unequivocally, this sucks if you just had the console. And you'll be able to keep certain things if you have them now, but going forward, that's not going to be an option for brand new customers to go again or to get into. And we've seen over the last 3 years or so, Netflix increase their prices. They're talking about doing yet another one. This will be, I think, the third one in the last 5 years. And any of these cloud-based streaming services, they keep having price increases to the point where we talked about on this show, Dom, a lot of people that maybe cut the cable cord a while back are now literally thinking about going back because they have 3 or 4 streaming services that they use. They've all had various price increases to the point where maybe it's not as cost efficient to not have cable. It's an interesting world we live in these days.
Sure is. Yeah, it's been like, it's been super crazy. Like you even look, like you said, the streaming services are just insane. But I don't know, like something like Game Pass, like you realistically start thinking about it. It's like games that you're paying $60 for, right? You can play multiple of those within a 1 month subscription. So theoretically, $60, right, is not even that bad because you're getting multiple games for the price of one, right? But is that sustainable? Do you want to guarantee to pay $60 a month every? Probably not.
And this was inevitable, right?
Yeah.
They were going to have a price increase. We all said that. They were like, this isn't sustainable.
So I'm not shocked by this in the slightest. I don't think
Doesn't mean I have to like it, but I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's too much. They didn't double the price or anything like that. You know, like those are drastic changes that are going to get people to throw their arms up in the air. But a couple dollars here and there, people are going to be unhappy, but they're going to do it. You know.
Speaking of unhappy, Yod, one of the most unhappy was the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. Remember, here in the United States, they were trying to get a court to put a stay on the merger from with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard until more information could be completed. The courts, of course, said, no, we're not going to do that. The merger was allowed to go through. The FTC appealed. We're still floating through a bunch of that stuff. But while we're still waiting for the Ninth Circuit to go ahead and make a ruling on the FTC's appeals, the FTC did file a letter with the court as soon as these price increases were announced, saying, "We told you, bro." Like, basically, I mean, that's the way to read this, right? Like, hey, FYI, told you so. Is basically the way the letter reads. It's got a few legalese links and stuff in it, but that's basically what the gist of it is. It says, hey, Microsoft is discontinuing the $10.99 per month console Game Pass product. They're going to have to, customers that use that, if they want to continue, are going to have to pay 81% more to switch to Game Pass Ultimate. If you're unwilling to do that, Microsoft is introducing what the FTC calls a degraded product, Game Pass Standard, at $15 per month. That's a 36% increase over the console Game Pass, and that standard tier withholds day one releases. So it costs more, and it's a worse product in the FTC's eyes. By the way, this totally goes against what Microsoft promised the courts that they were going to do. They specifically reference Call of Duty. That was huge, right, in those lawsuits. Call of Duty. They close by saying, importantly, Microsoft's actions are inconsistent with Microsoft's representations below. Microsoft's price increase coincide with adding Call of Duty to Game Pass's most expensive tier, and discontinuing the console tier will happen shortly before releasing Call of Duty's newest game. Below, Microsoft promised that the acquisition would benefit consumers by making Call of Duty available on Microsoft's Game Pass on the day it was released on console, with no increased price for the service based on the acquisition. They're saying, told you so, you needed to wait, and we needed to have more information, and you shouldn't have fallen for those promises. Whether this helps or hurts their appeal or does anything, probably not. Like, in the grand scheme of things, right, this is kind of just a, see, I told you so, and I can't imagine the courts are going to put a ton of weight into it. But Dom, it might be something, or Yod, it may be something they should consider, because that Call of Duty point is a particularly apt point given some of the discussions during those trials.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And I mean, the whole thing with, the price increase. Yeah, right now, the price increase isn't too bad.
The next one might be. Like, they're going to do it again.
Of course, they, as we see with Netflix, they will do it again. They will do it again and again and again. And each increment might, and it might be bigger next time, or it might not. But each increment will happen. And even if it's a small increment, you add enough of those increments together, and it's a large increase. Eventually, the what was a $10 price tag for Dom and myself on the PC only stuff could end up being a $20, $30 product. When will it happen? Could be 2 years from now, could be 10 years from now. We don't know, but it'll probably get there eventually. And that's the whole problem with the Activision Blizzard thing is, they said they wouldn't do that their people would have an advantage because day one release on Game Pass. Of course, there's the caveat of having to pay more for that day one. Mind you, you're not paying more just for Call of Duty, which is the angle they're probably going to go for. It's not just for Call of Duty. You're not buying the game for more. You're not having to pay a higher tier price for Call of Duty specifically.
Right.
It just happens to be a higher tier product for you to get access to Call of Duty plus more.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm still gonna subscribe. I do think it is one of those things that's like, in 5 years, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's a $2 price increase. Well, wait a minute. It's actually been
Yeah,
four
yep.
$2 price increases.
Right.
Like, but I'm still going to subscribe to it right now.
For me personally, it's because I only want one subscription at a time.
Yeah,
So
what I
since
kind
I'm
of do,
diving-
what I kind of do is dumb. I kind of look at it like, is there a singular game on here that I would have purchased? And maybe that's like bad for the developers, right? But
Yeah,
like, is there a singular $60, $50, $60 AAA title that I would have bought on here in the last 3 months? Well, then my 3 months of subscribing has been worth it. It does, of course, come with the downside of I don't own the games, and Microsoft can take them off just like we see Netflix take shows off at any point. And at that point, if I still want the game, I'm going to have to buy it. But I don't think that's happened once yet. Where a game was like, it's gone. Well, maybe I'll buy it. I was like, oh, that's sad that that's being taken off. Man, I loved that game. That was great. I beat it. And all right, let's talk about some things we're looking forward to. I'll give one first. We'll kind of cycle through, right? We'll take turns. And Dom, I'm interested about my first one here.
Okay.
And how you feel about it. The World of Warcraft's The War Within, coming out on August 26th. It's already, beta is already on the PTRs, so you can go and check that out if you want to. I've never been a World of Warcraft PTR player. I don't like that. I understand it needs to be tested, and I'm glad that they do it, but I'm always one of those, I just want to go in cold and do this thing. I am looking forward to this for a few reasons. One, I always kind of enjoy the whole launch cycle of a World of Warcraft expansion, even though, it isn't anywhere near these days what it used to be as far as its fun factor and, community thing. Whatever. There's no midnight releases, stuff like that anymore. But whatever. I'm looking forward to this one, I think, particularly because I do want to see how the whole World Soul saga gets put together, right? We're about to get 3 expansions closer together than we've ever received World of Warcraft expansions, with the idea of creating bigger stories with a faster cadence and a bigger overarching plot between these expansions. Kind of going back to World of Warcraft days of yore. Metzen's on the team again. There have been some people that returned, and maybe there were some people, the higher ups, saying, you know what, the last couple expansions had their ups, had their downs. Of course, we made a shit ton of money, but it wasn't all the money in the world. We'd like to make all the money in the world again. Maybe we should go back to some familiar systems, updated for a 2024 audience. Skill systems, the way we tell stories, things like that. I want to see if they start this off on the right foot. I'm insanely interested to get into the War Within. And then, of course, I do like dungeons and raiding, so I always look forward to new World of Warcraft dungeons and raids. Are you interested in the War Within?
I am. So I've just recently gone through. I've done all the awakened raids. I've finished those. I've gotten my Keystone Master for season 4. So I finished everything just in time for the pre-launch event, which starts on Tuesday. So I'm good to go with that. I've been playing with some of our old friends, Shafnet, Omikins, a couple of them, the Kiggles. And the raid team seems to be coming along together. We had a lot of fun going through the Awakened raids. And like you said, I'm very excited to see Metzen back in and his brand of storytelling, because been very missed. Thrall's absence has been very much noticed, and I'm hoping to see some return of Thrall.
I guess I should sub up and do something like maybe find a fucking raid group, because I think our old raid group doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Not really.
Yeah.
A lot of them went over to Final Fantasy. A lot of them went over to WoW Classic and Season of Discovery and all that. It's just everybody kind of split. So I don't know. Reach out to Shafnet.
Yeah, I'll hit Shafnet up. To Cal saying, I don't play WoW, but ain't there a big ass sword somewhere stuck in the ground? They ever explain what that was? Yes, there is a big ass sword stuck in the ground. We know what it is. We've known what it is since it got there. But I think you mean, are they going to do anything with it? Yes, this expansion is kind of okay. We actually need to go back and do something with big ass sword.
So the story with this thing, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the Titans tried to hurt Azeroth, which is a Titan, or not a Titan, but it's whatever, the upper Paragon is, whatever. And we found out that Azeroth is like an egg, right? And this entity is living inside of it. So we have two options. the egg hatches and we all die, or the creature inside, the living being inside dies and we all die. So we don't have a good outcome out of this. So I'm very curious to see where they take that direction.
Yeah.
I bet Yod
yeah,
you didn't see the big egg coming.
Oh, I haven't played it since before Pandora, but I've been keeping tabs on the story. So yeah, I knew about the big egg and the giant sword.
Are you going to get into the War Within, or are you still just, hey, I'm a spectator when it comes to WoW?
Yeah, I'm gonna spectate and I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 14.
Sounds good. All right, Dom, something you're looking forward to. What do you got?
I mean, Hunt Showdown, right? This is huge. This is like the biggest thing. I have almost 3,000 hours in this game. I'm like 29, whatever. It's close. I don't have Steam open right now. And August 15th, they're doing a new engine upgrade. They're going from CryEngine 5.6 to CryEngine 5.11, which is a huge jump in numbers. The
it's like 0.05. That's like
well,
that's massive.
They don't update this very often, right? So Hunt is like 5 years old at this point, right? So for 5.6, and then they upgrade to the latest one, 5.11, 5 years later. That is a big number upgrade for them. And it's just I don't know. It's like they're also launching with a new map. They're doing a lot of quality of life changes that players have been looking for. They're redoing the prestige system. And I don't know, just some of the designs that they've shown off for like the UI and the quality of life is just like, this should have been done forever ago. And it's like, this is something I would have expected for Hunt Showdown 2, not a free update for a 5-year-old game. It blows my mind. You know, it's insane.
I was going to try and see your hours because I was signed into Steam, but apparently we're not Steam friends.
Oh my!
We might be. We have to be.
I
I
thought so too,
private.
but when I go to a Hunt Showdown, it says you have 5 friends that play this game, and you weren't one of them.
No, I have my whole profile is private.
Oh,
you can't
okay,
see anything.
okay.
That's why.
Gotcha.
All right, hold on. I booted it up.
And
1.9. All right, so I was giving myself more than I thought. I have 2,500 hours, I think, in Overwatch, so I'm closing in.
Catching up. Speaking of Overwatch, are you looking at Marvel Rivals at all?
Yes.
Because they have a closed beta coming up this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
or this week on Tuesday. I think it kicks off on the 23rd and runs to like early August. But that's looking really good. That's looking really, really good. He doesn't want. Oh, is that why, Baron? Yeah, Dom doesn't want me to see all the porn games he's playing. I get it. I get it.
That's not true.
I'm private too because I don't want him to see that even though I give him shit and for making me play the Political Machine 2008 or whatever it was when Mitt Romney ran.
What? I never. What?
I have 3,000 hours in it. One of these days I'm going to win. I'm going to win the election. Yod, what do you got? What are you looking forward to, friendo?
Well, I mean, there is Stormgate that released their new opening cinematic trailer. So, you know, a nice StarCraft-like game that's been, needed for a very long time since Stargate died.
This is the free-to-play RTS that's bringing back RTSs, if I remember right.
Yes, built by people that made RTSs like StarCraft.
Do you like this art style?
It's different. I mean, obviously, it's not, the classic stuff like, I hate to keep going back to it, but StarCraft or the original Warcraft stuff. It does have more of a tinge of Overwatch to it, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of lukewarm on it.
It's.
Did you buy into early access, or are you waiting for the free to play?
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see how it pans out. Because while these are the guys that made RTS, what RTS is, it's still are they gonna deliver?
It could be another Back 4 Blood scenario.
Yeah, I mean, so many companies and games have burned us that hell, I didn't even buy Final Shape until the day before.
Is early access underway, or does that start later this month?
It looks like it starts August 13th is when early access starts. So
That's weird. Why is Steam showing coming July 30th?
I don't know.
I mean, you could buy the early access packs, but it says
Right.
coming July 30th, and I didn't think it was
Right.
that soon.
I don't know.
I mean,
I saw the early access release
Yeah.
date under site, I believe.
yeah,
Is
it's still August 13th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Early access release date of August 13th. Just I saw that on Steam, and I was like, wait, what? July 30th? What? Yeah, that's
Because
one I'm going to give a whirl, though. I will definitely. I do like RTS games, so I will give a whirl. I prefer
And-
when Autumn and I were dating, my wife and I were dating, we played via dial-up, Warcraft 2 and Age of Empires 2 and stuff like that. That's when I was like in my multiplayer RTS heyday. But I
Right.
do like campaigns, RTS campaigns.
Right.
I don't do a lot of multiplayer online, but definitely hit the campaigns up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting on, is see how their campaigns and stuff are, because that's what I like too.
I'm still looking forward to Star Wars Outlaws that comes out next month, August 30th. Open world Star Wars game from fucking Ubisoft. From Ubisoft. From Ubisoft. Yay. Oh, I didn't put it in the show notes, but did you see their huge walkback on the Division 2?
What'd they do?
So last month, they dropped an update into the Division 2, and it did a number of very, very cool things. So first off, like if you didn't own the Warlords of New York expansion, your level cap was 30. If you owned the expansion, your level cap was 40. Well, they finally in that update said, forget it. Everybody can now get to level 40, and everybody can get all the weapons and stuff. And you still need to buy Warlords of New York for specific content beats, but like crafting and leveling and all that, so forget it. It's all universal now, which was great, right? That's fantastic. And they did some other things that I really liked in it. So I booted it up and I started playing it again. I'd never bought Warlords of New York because I didn't really have a crew to run around in the Division 2 with, so it didn't matter to me. And I've always enjoyed that as a looter shooter 6 to 10 months after it comes out, both Division and the Division 2. But they also announced that they were going to be changing the way they did their seasons. They were implementing what they called Seasons 2.0. And in Seasons 2.0, the idea was that they were going to create seasonal characters. So that you would take these characters, not your character, you would take these seasonal characters and do seasonal stuff, gain levels, get rewards, all that stuff. And then in the last 2 weeks of the season, they would have what was called an intermission, where you could finally bring in your actual character and mess with the new weapons that your seasonal character had gathered and stuff like that. And then off to a new season where only these seasonal characters could play again. As soon as I read this, I wrote it up and I was like, this is dumb. This is a stupid idea. Like if you had launched with this, fine. But you didn't. You've been out for 6 or 7 years. People have sunk time into their mains, their builds, everything. And I get that you want to create this scenario where a new season kicks off and everybody's on the same playing field. New players, old players, doesn't matter. But you're basically made the characters you play with for 6 years totally pointless.
Yeah.
Like they can come in and screw around for the last 2 weeks of the season, pick up some rewards from the, what gets transferred to your main bank, but that was it. And then a week or two later, they did a whole stream where they really tried to sell this again. They were like, hey, we weren't quite clear on what your main character can do and how important they are to this. They weren't. It was just the same thing repackaged. And then finally, 2 weeks later, they were like, okay, we're going to walk this whole thing back. We don't know what we're doing for Seasons 2.0. We're going to take this internally and discuss it. Anyway, I'm getting those kind of Ubisoft vibes from Star Wars Outlaws. I can't wait. An open world Star Wars game. Finally. An open world single player Star Wars game. Finally.
Yeah.
It's coming out August 30th.
Yeah.
IGN, I'm showing you, did 10 minutes of gameplay exclusive footage. And it was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
But you got to shoot and fly and shoot and shoot.
If you are going to
ride your speeder bike through the desert for like 2 minutes.
If you are going to do a gameplay 10 minutes where it's edited, by the way. It's chopped, and that's fine. Like, okay, whatever. You think it looked okay? I'm not talking about the way it looked. Come on, Takao, this did not look okay. Like when they said it's a fetch quest. It's a fucking fetch quest. It's a 10-minute gameplay intro of a fetch quest. And by the way, at the end of it, it's thrown away as basically a joke. The job was who needed this tooth that you went and got and did all this stuff to get. They just chuck it in a basket with a bunch of other teeth. Like it was a haha funny. You know, narratively this didn't matter, but whatever. It was boring. Like I was like, oh cool. At the beginning, Dom, we're gonna go. This is a neat premise. We're gonna go explore the inside of a dead sarlacc.
Yeah.
To get this, I was like, that is badass. Okay, it looks like a brown cave. Awesome. We did it. It looks like a freaking brown cave.
Do we know where in the timeline this takes place?
In between Empire and Jedi.
Okay, so that's not the Sarlacc that Boba escaped from.
No.
Okay, got
No.
it. It would have been cool if they were able to tie
like his
that.
helmet.
Yeah.
It's just sitting. It's just sitting over there in the corner.
It would have been so cool to tie that in.
And I'm not saying like this quest couldn't be fun, right? You whatever. Like it's a fetch quest, and it seems to be a side quest anyway. But it's not that I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be representative of the entire game. Like Takao, I'm with you. I kind of got like this is a side quest, but this is what you chose to try and sell the game with 10 minutes of gameplay footage exclusive to IGN. This is what you chose. Why? Why? This is a side quest, boring filler thing. And I'm sure there'll be quests that are better, and I'm sure there'll be quests that are worse. I get it. But it was so dumb.
So you're telling me that this is just Death Stranding Star Wars reskinned?
I don't know. And by the way, the water looked weird. Like the ripples in the water when your character walked through it, they look weird. I do like the like. What do you do with Tatooine? Right? It's like or I don't know if it's Tatooine. I think it is Tatooine. I mean, it's a desert, right?
Yeah.
You know. So what are you gonna do with it? I don't expect it to be like full of nightlife and a bunch of fun visuals. It's a fucking desert. I get it. But again, from a marketing standpoint, you picked this.
There are quite a few desert planets in Star Wars, mind you.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm pretty sure this is Tatooine.
Am I still going to buy it? Fuck yes. Do I feel good about it? Fuck no.
It's Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft. I'm not alone in this, by the way. The feedback's generally the same. In fact, in an interview that I saw after this dropped, they asked Ubisoft, like, are you going to consider delaying the game to make some improvements based on the feedback? And they were like, oh, no, it's ready to go. It's ready to go. 30th of August is the day.
No, I do have to give them kudos for that. Because
it's not ready. What do you mean kudos? It's not ready.
So,
no. It's a Ubisoft product. I don't even need to see a 10-minute preview to tell you it's not ready.
Let me explain, okay? Let me explain.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Like you said, it's Ubisoft. So no matter how much time they put into it, it's not going to be ready.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So giving them an extra amount of time isn't going to help. It's going to make it worse.
Yep.
Because they're going to lose their art director. They're going to lose the game director. They're going to have to start from scratch again. We're going to have to wait 2 or 3 more years until we see anything again. It's going to be skull and bones all over again.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
So
this isn't forced to come out. I am looking forward to this in some respects, like being able to planet hop and do stuff in space, the ship to ship combat and then do stuff on the ground. I'm still looking forward to this. I honestly just could not have laughed at them more that this is what they sent IGN to say, hey, you want an exclusive 10-minute gameplay reveal? Let's go pick up a tooth in a desert. I
mean, yes, it's a shitty amount of quests that they gave them, and it looks terrible.
One more from you, Dom. What are you looking forward to?
I mean, so the whole month of August they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, right? This is a game that I never thought that I would be interested in or got involved in, and I went down the rabbit hole of like.
I see what you did there.
Of like. My stream wanted me to play it for Halloween, whatever, spooky month and whatever. And I ended up delaying that till like Christmas, I think, of the same year because I was busy in October. And then I was like, all right, I don't really see too much here. And as I started getting through the games, is like, okay, now I started being like, I don't understand what's going on, and I started deep diving the lore, go down the Matt Pat Game Theory channel, like deep dive of all 78 videos, and I was hooked. I was just like insanely. The story is so crazily complicated that they drew me in just on the story alone, not even the gameplay. The last most recent games have actually been really good. The ones that Steelwolf Studios has put out. So I've been following up on Five Nights at Freddy's. So August is the 10th anniversary, and for the first couple days, they have new announcements and games and stuff coming out. Through the entirety of the month, they're going to be revealing some more stuff. So August 1st and 2nd are two games from the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, um, which are games that are not canon to the main series, but they're like approved spin-offs by Scott Cawthon, the creator, that he like backs and funds and things like that, which is really cool. I appreciate that. August 3rd, they're doing an interactive novel, which is like whatever. Then August 4th is the big one. That's the Steelwool announcement for the next game in the franchise, which I kind of feel like is going to be DLC for Help Wanted 2, the most recent VR game. Uh, uh, yeah, there's a lot I could go on that, which would be really cool. August 5th, they're doing an interview with Scott Cawthon, which he doesn't do these very often. This is like only the second time he's ever done one, so it's kind of a big deal for him. August 6th is a mystery collab, which a lot of people are speculating is going to be Fortnite, because it just so happens that Fortnite is also doing a big update for their season on that day. So that's going to be an interesting collab if that is the case. But the two that I'm most interested in are the final two for August 7th and 8th. Which one is 5 laps at Freddy's? To me, that sounds like Mario Kart, right? And if that's what that is, I'm on board. Let's go. Let's Mario Kart it up with the whole Freddy Fazbear roster. I don't care. Like, it'll be fun. And then August 8th is a 2D kind of like side-scrolling game called Into the Pit, which is really interesting because it's based off of the novel Into the Pit, which is a separate continuity from the game franchise. But now this is a game, so does this fall into the game continuity, or does this fall into the book continuity? It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see where things go.
One more from you, Yad.
I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom nostalgia that Nintendo announced, where you
Yeah.
get the entire collection, all kinds of Marvel games, fighting games, all that type of thing. How can you not want it?
Yeah, I was a big MVC2 Dreamcast player.
Yeah, I was more in the arcade with that stuff.
I was all over the Dreamcast, man.
Yeah, I was punching the quarters in at the arcade machine, man.
Oh, there's X-Men Children of the Atom, too. I remember that
Yep,
one.
yep. Yeah, you got that 4-player action going.
That's what she
Although,
said.
although of course you won't have that weird 2-screen arcade
Right,
feel where
right,
one of them is always off color from the other
right.
monitor.
I'm going to give one more here. It's still one that I'm a little nervous about, though,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
I can't help but be pumped about it, and that's Silent
got?
Hill 2 remake, October
Yeah.
8th.
Come on, how can you mess that up?
If you,
You can,
it's Konami.
you can. Yeah.
Let me introduce you to a few Metal Gear things. If you're just curious about how they could screw things up. Don't know if you ever played that Metal Gear survival game. Yeah.
There's a difference between creating a new game and remaking a game, right? 'Cause
Cool.
you already have the story, you're already following.
Cool.
It,
Let
right?
me introduce you to the Silent Hill HD collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want this one to work out really, really well, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I am a little nervous about it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it, but I'm a little
They're not
nervous about it.
you just gotta remember though, they're not Capcom. They're not gonna Resident Evil it.
Right. Yeah, or Warcraft remastered. Good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Good call to call.
Let's go over and do games of the week. The week is the way we end every episode of Gaming Gumbo here. It's where all three of us are going to recommend a game. Could be a video game, board game, mobile game, card game, something we've played recently, played in the past, or haven't played at all, but think you should check out. And you let us know in the comments who gave the best recommendation. Yad, we'll start with you, my friend. Destiny 2, the final thing.
Nope. I'm going with Little Kitty Big City.
Oh!
I've been holding out to that for like 3 weeks.
It's game of the week, not porn of the week.
Yes.
It's games
That
of
is
the week.
not a porn. That's not a porn. You
Still
found it.
sounds like one. Go ahead, Dom.
I'm going to recommend one that I also think that you have either purchased already, Mike, or will be purchasing.
Okay.
And that is Nintendo World Championship NES Edition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be getting it.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of little mini challenges, speed runs, all kinds of different things for some of your favorite NES games, going from Mario 1 to 3, Metroid, Kirby, Balloon Fight, Ice Climbers, everything in between. So if you
I'm
like
sure
time
Dom and I will
challenges
fight
and
the
anything,
leaderboards again. It was the
So.
best 3 months of our lives.
Yep.
3 months. I'm going to recommend The First Descendant. If you enjoy Warframe or have in the past, maybe you've gotten bored of it, maybe you've played thousands of hours and you're ready for something that just looks a little different. It doesn't have as cool a movement system as Warframe has with the Tenno, but if you're looking for a looter shooter that's very much in the same vein, opening up Descendants, opening up weapons, leveling them up, doing main story quest, you could do far worse than The First Descendant. I think it still has, and I did a first look video on it. You can search that on MMO Bomb if you want to check out 15-20 minutes of first look thoughts on it. It still has a long way to go to be a true Warframe competitor, but it's a nice alternative if you're looking for something along those lines, and if maybe you're just a little bored of Warframe. I recommend checking it out. That's going to do it for all of us here today on Gaming Gumbo. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know who gave the best recommendation for this week, and give us your own in the comments. We'll bring it to next week's show. Until then, Yad, where can everybody find you?
Otakudomcomic.com and anywhere in the social media sphere with Yacht Artworks.
Dom?
You can find me down below on It's Zista on, what is it, X now?
Yeah, whatever. I still use the little blue birdie.
It's still Twitter.
It's still Twitter. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, and you'll know every time we're going live with a podcast, a stream, or we're hanging out playing Final Fantasy trading card game. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.